Well, it's time again.
Welcome to the Unlock Your Mind podcast, where traditional beliefs are challenged, fears are confronted, and dreams are brought back to life. I'm your host, Derek J. Love.
Unlock Your Mind podcast. Welcome.
Well, hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Unlock Your Mind podcast. Thank you so much for coming back to hear what I got to say. Today, I'm going to be talking about the power of why. Why are you talking about that? It's a great question. I'm glad you're thinking. The question, why, is a very organic question, right? You think about children. Children, basically, as soon as they learn how to talk, one of the first questions they ask is why? Why, Daddy? Why? And asking that question is actually a sign of intelligence, if you ask me, because it means that you're engaging in critical thinking. You're engaging in your curiosity. You're asking why. Why is this? Why does that happen? Why God, kid asks spiritual questions. Why did God do this? And who is God? And why? It's a very great question. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. Because, asking why is what has led to and contributed to the current knowledge base that we have to this day. Somebody had to ask why. So somebody spent time observing things and seeing patterns, and they asked why. Why does this happen? What's causing this to happen? So asking why is a very powerful question. Asking why makes your mind search for answers. So again, when you ask why, it automatically triggers your mind to start looking for the answer. That's how the mind works. You ask it a question, you engage it, it goes to try to find the answer. So that's how that works. And if you're not one who asks why on a fairly regular basis, then that could be an indication that your mind's not working. No, I'm just kidding. A little bit. Moving right along. How often do you ask why? Think about that for a second. How often do you ask why? And this is across the board. There's a lot of different situations that we find ourselves in, and we, should be asking why. Why do I believe what I believe? You ever ask yourself that? I ask that question daily. Why do you believe that? Who told you that? One of the things I hear, especially now in this very tense season in America, at least, I've always heard people, make the statement like America is the land of opportunity. It's the greatest country on the planet. And it's blah, blah, blah. And it's America's the great and all these things, right? And America is a great country. It has great potential. It has great ideals. But great for who? So, that's this question. Why? Why do you say America is so great? And great for who? Why do you think America is greater than all the other countries on the planet? Why do you believe that? Based on what? So again, just asking why. Now, I love America. It's a great country. I think it's a model, but it has its flaws. It's not a perfect country by no stretch. It has a very negative history. But this ain't about politics. This is just asking why. Why do you believe what you believe? I was talking to somebody the other day about Africa. And, the thing that came up was, Africa is poor. And Africa, you see them little kids and they fly. I mean, they're starving and they got little pot bellies and flies flying around their face all the time. And, people live in huts and tents and they're clothed in leaves. And that's what we think of Africa. Why? You ever ask, why do you think that about Africa? When America is this great, wonderful, bountiful nation full of opportunity, full of wealth, the wealthiest nation on the planet. But when you think of Africa, that's 3 times the size of America, you think of poor, malnutrition black people. You ever thought why? Maybe that was strategically done. Maybe the narrative was painted so that you would think negative of Africa or any other country that you've never been to or experienced. Maybe that was done on purpose. But you have to start asking why. That's my point here. I'm not choosing sides or trying to start a fight, but I'm just getting you to start to just think for a second. Why do I believe this political party over that political party? Why? You can have a choice, but just start asking why. That's all I'm asking you to do. Why do you believe you can succeed? Why do you believe that's not for me? Based on what? Again, you got to start asking why. Why do you believe because you've made mistakes in the past, you don't deserve another opportunity? Why do you believe that? You know how many people have made mistakes? You know how many people have done stupid stuff? You know how many people are going to do more stupid stuff? And that'll still get out. So don't limit yourself or put yourself in a box because of something that you've done and feel like, well, I don't deserve it. And, this is my destiny. That's some bull. Yeah, I said that. That's some bull. So, I think about this and, I used to hear parents and, kids will be asking why, and parents will get offended. And so more than likely, you're not conscious of it, but you may have this association with asking why, and you just don't ask no questions. Because when you were a child and you say, Mommy, why is Uncle so-and-so over here all the time? Don't ask me no questions. Get out of my business. Or Daddy, why so-and-so? Or you ask your grandmama, why this and why that? And some cultures, they take offense to that. Like they feel like you're challenging them. Well, now I'm really not challenging you, or they're not challenging you. They're really trying to get an understanding. And so you, as an adult, have to be mature enough to not be offended with a kid asking you why, because that's their curiosity. It's organic. We're wired to do that. So take time to explain it to them. Don't be mad at them because they're asking you why. Why we can't now. There's some stuff, kids. Why I can't go to my friend's house? Because I said so. And you ain't got to give no explanation. But there's some other things they're asking why. It's better for you to explain to them the rationale as opposed to just shutting them down and saying no. For example, if I tell my kid, hey, go lock the back door. And they say, why? I said, boy, don't ask me no questions. Just go do what I told you to do. He'll do it. But now imagine if I take the time and he say, well, why? And I say, well, son, there's been some burglaries in the area, or, it's for your safety, it's for my safety, it's for our safety. And so we want to make sure the door is locked. That way, if somebody does try to break in, we have a little bit of barrier between them and the time they get into the house. And we can, take some actions to minimize us getting harmed or getting hurt. And then he understands why. And so now it makes sense to him to lock the door because he doesn't want to get hurt. So instead of me being upset with him and just saying, do what I say no, here's why we do this. And then I don't have to tell him to do that no more because now he has his own reasons for locking the door. And so when you take time to explain things and answer the question why, generally it'll help. And you don't have to tell me what to do anymore because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right. So another thing that happens when you ask yourself why is you activate your mind to go and search for the answers. So I'm a financial coach, I'm a real estate broker, And so I work with people all the time. So, here's some questions, though, that I've asked myself, on my journey. And I'm pretty critical with me. So I'm hard on myself. So I've asked myself before, why am I always broke? And I asked myself, why am I always broke? I'm not broke now, but like in the past, I've had some challenges and, just couldn't seem to get ahead. And I was asking, why am I always broke? You know what my mind said? It's because you're spending money that you don't have, and you're overspending, and you're in too much debt, and you don't have a budget that you operate from, so you just spend on impulse. And that's why you're always broke. You're trying to impress people who are broke like you to make them think that you're not broke. But that's why you broke. So, okay, well, thanks, mind. And, you get them kind of responses. You're like, nah, I ain't going to answer no questions like that no more because that didn't turn out too well. Well, you got to if you want to do better. Now, if you want to stay where you are, then, yeah, just avoid those questions. And then you can stay ignorantly blissful in your stupidness. I'm sorry if that offended you. I don't mean you're stupid. I just mean the behaviors that you're wanting to change, but you're not willing to engage in the process that's necessary for the change to take place. It can be rather unintelligent. That's a better one. That would go unintelligent. Why am I overweight? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's probably because you consume too many calories. You eat way too many sugary foods and beverages. You don't work out. That's probably why you're overweight. It could be some health challenges, and if so, asking why may be, an indicator that you need to see a doctor or some expert to say, hey, well, this is why, you're doing the right things, but you're still gaining weight. Maybe there's some internal health issues going on. But again, you won't know that if you don't ask why. So you see what I'm saying? You still got to ask the question, why? Why am I always dating the wrong person? Ooh, touchy, careful. Well, that could be because you're doing things to attract the wrong person. What you mean? Well, just saying. You know what you do and why you do what you do and who that attracts and who that repels. So, if you're dressing scantily clad all the time and all your social media pictures are, little provocative butt shots and, you got all your cleavage out and you wonder why you keep attracting a certain type of man, well, that possibly could be a clue. I'm only no expert, but I'm just saying there could be a clue there to why you attract that type of person. Or if you're a brother and you're always flexing about how much money you got and showing off your jewelry and your clothes and you turn up all the time and you just trying to impress the world with your wealth and you wonder why you always attracting gold diggers. Well, that might be a clue. This is what you portray, and so this is what you attract. I do a lot of fishing, and so I use certain bait to catch certain fish. If I'm going for bass, there's certain bait that I use to attract bass. If I'm going for crappie, there's certain bait that I use to attract crappie. If I'm trying to catch catfish, then there's other baits that I use that the other fish won't eat, but a catfish will eat. So the bait that you put out is what you attract. Why? I don't know. You did that. I didn't do that. Why am I stuck on this dead-end job? Well, maybe because you didn't invest the right time or resources or learn the right skills or develop a new skill set, and that's all that's available to you. Maybe you have poor work ethic, and maybe you just, aren't going to get another promotion or advance in life because of the way you think. I don't know. It's just something to think about. But when you ask that question, you will find the answer to that. I can't give you the answer. These are just some suggestions. I'm just kind of being funny a little bit. But, you have to ask those questions. Why do I say yes to things that I really don't want to do? That's a good one. A lot of people do that. They commit to things. They say yes to something that they don't really want to do. Why? Did you ever ask yourself that? Why do you do that? I know for me, there's been plenty of times where I've said yes to things that I did not want to do, but because of fear or rejection or a confrontation or there was something, or guilt, there was something underneath that made me commit to doing something that I didn't really want to do. And then I ended up resentful towards the person or the people or the organization or whatever it was that made me do something, or I felt like made me do something I didn't want to do. It wasn't their fault. They asked. It was my responsibility to say yes or no, but I was resentful towards them. And then I had to ask, well, why? Well, it's your fault, dude. You did it. You said yes when you should have just said no and just dealt with whatever that was. And so now I'm learning, if I don't want to do something, I'm just not going to do it. And I don't really care how you feel about it. If you ask me to borrow some money and I don't feel like you're going to pay me back, I'm not, and I don't really care. And so that's just a growth area in my life I've had to get to. But I had to ask, why do you do that? Because of one of those other underlying issues, fear or something. So, guys, these are things that I think we can all learn from when we ask why. Learning to ask why, again, it engages our minds and it makes us think and look for a solution. So asking why could be the next business opportunity that you have, or the next product that you develop, or the first product that you develop, just by asking why. Think about it and start asking why. This has been the Unlock Your Mind Show. Until next week, make it a great day.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Unlock Your Mind podcast. I hope you found some value in listening today. I pray you would share this episode. Share the love. Become a part of the Unlock Your Mind family. We're all in this together, changing the way we think so that we can change our financial future. If this episode challenged you or inspired you or made you want to do something different, I want to hear about it. You can email me. It's Derrick@DerrickJLove.com. That's DERRICK @DerrickJLove.com. Or if you want to do something a little quicker, leave me a voicemail. You can reach me at 832-721-2251. And remember, if you can unlock your mind, you can unlock your money. So start now. Start living the life you love and loving the life you live. See you next week, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unlock Your Mind podcast. Follow Derrick J. Love on all social media platforms at Derrick J. Love. Derrick J. Love is a financial coach, a public speaker, author, and real estate broker. To bring Derrick to speak at your function or corporate event, contact him at 832-721-2251. That's 832-721-2251. Also, follow Derrick on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or on the website, DerrickJLove.com.